Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Good evening, everyone. It is the Weekly Joe podcast. We're in season 3. I think we're episode 13, maybe 14 today. I can't remember what it said. We'll count them up and make sure we get that accurate. Second recording this week. We had a great show last night with the moms of our weekend starting pitchers. Roger is, meantime, going through the Blair Witch Project over in the hotel room where he's sitting on his way to South Carolina. He was on with me. Great night with those ladies. We got 3 guys in tonight. I think got a tough act to follow. And then, of course, Meghan, our regular. We're trying to bring the average age up a little bit with Roger and me. But we're going to have a fun time tonight. You recognize these guys. They've been with us before. Hayes Flowers, Tyler Wilcox, Max, back with us. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, great to have you. We had a couple of absences this evening. It's a tough week to record a podcast. Roger, your travels have been pretty epic all season, but you've been to the beach and Detroit and back to the beach and Tuscaloosa, and now you're somewhere along I-20.
Villarica, Georgia at the moment.
That's right. Meghan, tough week, done with graduations and grading and whatnot?
Working on it. I'm in the middle of grading. Graduation's on Saturday. So.
On Saturday. All right, a few days to go.
Finals week.
That's right. Yeah, Drew Champlin, one of our regulars, on his way up to the Carolinas this weekend. Griff is moving, packing up, doing some things tonight. So we brought these guys in because, hey, school's out, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. We have 0 obligations.
There you go. It's a good feeling to have. Enjoy it while you can. And like we just said in the green room here, we're striking a delicate balance here between recording content coming out to you guys and hate watching Auburn getting knocked around at Mississippi State right now. It's 5-1 in I think the 5th inning. So we'll keep a stray eye on that, as that's the opening game of that series and of the SEC weekend. Speaking of which, upcoming SEC weekend 9 of 10. We're going to South Carolina. Good chance of a series win. We've not been great on the road, obviously. We've managed to get by without getting wrecked since that first weekend. But it eked out a win in most of those series, and of course won the Oklahoma series. Probably our best chance of another probably when you looked ahead in the early part of the schedule, Roger. I think you probably felt like this was one you needed 2 or 3 of, or a sweep.
Right. Yeah, I think we've kind of, most of all of us have felt all along that this was a very sweepable, definitely winnable series, but sweepable at that. Right. Particularly the way they started.
Yeah,
they got a little life after they let Maneri go, and it seems like they throw it pretty well. The pitching's not bad. They've had trouble, offensively, but
just scoring
we can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hopefully they'll play some stupid baseball, and we'll play clean, and
hopefully we won't. Yeah.
I mean,
we tended to do that,
and we played several clean games recently.
Yes, really have.
Then we'll throw in a 4 or 5 error game. But even at Troy, the one error was LeBron made that play behind the bag, which nobody makes.
Nobody gets
to. He got up and he just he just threw it away.
Right.
So other than that. We had a ball we thought Brennan Mike should have made. He kind of got caught on the carpet on what to do with that hop. But then he turned around the next play with the infield in and made a diving stop that saved a couple of runs. So, overall, the defense has been a little better here recently.
Yeah, the Vanderbilt weekend, it was actually a positive. I thought really, was a contributor to some of those wins. I mean, the way the defense played that weekend.
Yeah.
Good timing, by the way.
And it was, good at Tennessee up until up until the inning where, when Miles threw
Yeah.
the ball away, and then I think Purdy missed one at first. But
Yeah. So
generally speaking, it's been somewhat better.
yeah, guys, we've talked about it a lot this year. We talk about it a lot in the back channels and all. Hayes, just general thoughts on the season. What's assess this team and where we stand, maybe what the ceiling is, how we got here, what bothers you about them, what you like about them.
I mean, it's been one of those years where it feels like when things are going great, we're one of the hardest teams to beat in the country, and we can beat anyone else in the country. But when the wheels fall off, the wheels fall off. Like
Yeah.
when it feels like there's very few in
That's a
between.
great analogy. That is fantastic.
And now, if you told me at the beginning of the season that pitching was going to be one of
Yeah.
our big strong points,
Mhm.
I don't know how much I would have believed that over hitting, but I mean, pitching has won us most, if not just about all of the series that we've won. And I mean, that's a huge bright spot, especially, I mean, you look at guys that I personally didn't expect to contribute, like Crowler, didn't expect him to contribute nearly as much as he has.
Right.
I think he has single-handedly won us a couple games. I mean, just it hasn't been the season that you looked, but if you sat here and you told me we're going into week 9, 13 and 11,
13-11.
sixth in the conference with, a fighting chance to get a double bye in Hoover with South Carolina and then Ole Miss at our house, I'm taking that.
I'll take it all day. Yeah.
Day by day, it can be, highest of highs, lowest of lows, but in totality, it feels like it's gone a little bit better than expected this year.
Yeah. Tyler, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of Hayes there, it's the big picture thing of if you would have told any of us, you get to be 13 and 11 with South Carolina, Ole Miss left to play, irregardless of any context, we're all running and taking that. But then you tack on the fact that you didn't get a single AB all year from Coleman Mizell, from Logan Davenport, from Sam Christensen. Those are 3 guys you expected to be everyday starters, if not heavy contributors in the outfield or as a corner infielder, in the case of like Christensen at first base. And you also only get 3 innings of Caden Humphrey all year.
One and point two, I think.
1.2.
Yeah,
Under 2 innings.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those
would have been
things.
your closer. Probably was.
Yeah, if you say like start of the year, you lose 3, prove like Coleman has proven that like he's a play in the SEC. Christensen proved the year before he can play in the SEC. Davenport had monster numbers at Northern Kentucky. So like you lose your closer and 3 guys that you were going to think would be very much so solid bats in the order in your 13-11 with everything in front of you. We'd all take that. Like no question.
And then the portal guy that we expected to be all SEC caliber. Turned out to not live up to that expectation.
Right.
So that's basically 4 guys that we were counting on in the fall or coming into January. Like these guys are going to be huge contributor starters.
And you go back
and then 5, and then you throw Humphrey in there and it's 5 because So I mean, in that aspect, hell, Rob, I'd be coach of the year. Get this team to 13-11, with that. And then, on top of that, and then, who would have thought Justin would be where he is offensively, defensively, this point in the year. I mean, I would have expected he'd be around 340, 350 with 20 bombs,
22, 20,
by now. So. So, they pieced it together, held it together, duct tape, baling wire, whatever it takes. Starting pitching and 3 studs out of bullpen.
3 of the bullpen, yeah. Max, your thoughts on you?
It's just playing as good as you can when you're held together by band-aids and prayer is it's hard to do. And I mean we've played well. We've played above every metric that says we should be playing, whether that be offensive statistics or all the predictive analysis after guys went down. It's just, I mean, we're bottom, what is it, 15th in the league?
I think 15th in hitting, probably 15th hit, yeah.
And it's, I mean, we're doing that and we're taking games we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then, we turn around, feels like we drop near as many games as we should be taking. And it's just, it's the most frustrating thing. And it's also the most fun thing when you pull that crap out of the hat. And it's just,
Right. So statistically, you talk a little bit about the hitting statistics. I compiled this earlier in the week. Overall, I think I have us at 252. Here's our slash line: 252, 378, 431. SEC 241, 350, 395. Not a hell of a lot of difference. I mean, about 10, 20 points in some of those categories. I mean, I'd probably put that slash line up against maybe one other team in the conference because we're not a heavy slug team. We steal a lot of bases, but by the time you take LeBron and you take Bryce out of that, you're not stealing a lot of bases. On top of that, the thing I think that impresses me the most is that you're like you said, you're essentially doing this with about 6 guys going on the weekend, 6 pitchers. You got your starters; they're consistently chewing up 5, 6, 6+ innings in most occasions, and then it's Crowther, it's Banks, it's Heiberger, and occasionally one of those other guys will pull one out of the hat. But I mean, you saw the other night at Troy how inconsistent some of those guys can be when they're not getting innings, and they had not in a couple of weeks. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say Sam deserves like some flowers in there as well. Like in the middle innings, whenever we don't get to 5 or 6 out of the starter, and it's more 3 or 4 for Sam to get us to those other 3 guys. Like he's definitely been phenomenal in that role.
Early on, he was. Yeah, early on, I would agree with that.
Seems faded a little, but yeah, you're right. That particularly comes in the game and we're down 2 or 3, and he's kind of holding them where they are. Meghan, thoughts so far? You've been here all along. We hear from you every week, but is it at or above your expectations? Given if you just pulled up a stat sheet where you predict this team would have been.
So hard, and I haven't hidden how frustrated this team really makes me because I think the point's made. I think we all kind of feel that way. But it's like when it's good, it feels like we're never gonna lose again. When it's bad, it feels like we've never won a game. And I felt that way. I mean, honestly, going back to even the fall games at Clemson of kind of with that. So I guess on paper, if we were to look just from the data standpoint, I think we're kind of maybe where we should be to an extent, but when you look kind of with the eye test, it's frustrating on both ends where it's like, I guess we are coming out to the average, but the average doesn't really make sense on how we got there.
Right. And this conference, I mean, it's just as bunched up as everything is now. You're 13-11. We're really good in 1-run games this year so far. I've lost track. I guess we have one with Vandy last weekend, so we're maybe 8-2. Are we 8-2 in them, or 8-3 or 7? We were well above 500 in them, and that's been a big difference. Is that we had to hold on to 1-run games. But then you look at the standings. All these teams sitting there at 13-11 with us. You got all these 14-10 teams, including 2 going at it right now in Starkville. A bunch in a pack kind of behind us. So the difference between top echelon and bottom feeder, it's really not that different. I mean, you look at LSU right now. LSU showed some sign of life last weekend and could come out of nowhere. Yeah, right. I mean, they're maybe 3 games behind us at this point, or they're 3 or 4 maybe.
Right. I mean, theoretically they could get to 15-15, but they're not going to sweep Georgia, and I'm not sure who else they play. But
Georgia and Florida they have left. But I mean, even with them, like State playing tonight against Auburn they got swept by State in Starkville, but those 3 games were competitive. Like they were in them. It's one of those things that there's probably one team in this league that's just truly awful. Like South Carolina still is like a trap. We should go win this series, but they've got talent. And really, it's one of those things when there's 15 out of 16 in the league that can beat anyone on any weekend. Of course it's going to be bunched up like it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thoughts on these last couple of weekends? I mean, we the schedule makers are a little kind to us, at least letting us seemingly have a little better back end than some of these other teams. If you pull up what some of these other teams have left, the top probably the top 10 teams. We may or may not have the best road ahead in these next six. I mean, you're on paper.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the teams that have things left to play for, in
Mhm.
terms of seeding or in terms of being on that hosting conversation, like if you had to give me the option of our path versus anyone else's, like I trade it for Vanderbilt's right now.
Vanderbilt,
I'd
yeah,
trade South Carolina and Missouri left, but that's
yeah.
probably the only one I'd really trade it for.
Mhm.
So you had to go through that absolute middle of the season, an SEC play slog of just kind of
Uh-huh.
facing a murderer's row to get to this
Yeah.
back half of the season. But this was always gonna be where it was gonna open up a little bit, and
Uh-huh.
everything was in front of you. So we put ourselves in a good spot to go capitalize on the opportunity in front of us.
Yeah. Hey, Hayes, give me a number. Where we got to get to host a regional number? Well, give me a win number.
I think right now, because our RPI is at 5 or
I think it's still
6 right
five.
now.
Still five unless it's moved tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's really high because we've done a good job with scheduling and kind of game the RPI with
Hmm.
the non-conference and midweeks. And so with the RPI, I'm leaning towards 16,
Okay.
but I don't trust the committee. And
I don't
so
either.
Never trust the
17
commit.
feels
Never trust the
17
committee.
feels comfortable to me.
17 to
But
me. Yeah, I'm the same way. I think
16
seven.
should get you in, but
Yeah.
after last year, I'm holding no faith in the committee.
Yeah. 17, I'm sleeping pretty well. 16, I'm still on edge. And not sure if not sure how great I feel about that. Just knowing that means, at 16, that means we're going to go 3-3 in these last three, which means we're probably going to take a hit at South Carolina and maybe two to Ole Miss or 2-1. And the RPI is good. I mean, it's hard to you get late in the year like this unless you're just playing somebody way the hell down below you in the RPI. So you're not going to damage yourself way too much. But I feel like that 5 is really propping us up. It just
Yeah.
based on the thing I tell these I'd say all the time. The good thing about the RPI and the heavy reliance of the RPIs is it isn't there aren't actual humans there watching the games because with the critical eye we all take actually we probably will say, oh hell, we're a 4 seed in UCLA's bracket. the way
Yeah.
we the way we view ourselves, I mean, and it's just the nature of being a fan, right? You just yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just
Oh, okay. Yeah.
thinking.
So, yeah. I mean, you do feel like you take a more critical eye on your own team, and because you've watched them 49 times this year and seen them practice in the scrimmages and stuff. So, that's probably where the challenge comes in. And while you're never quite comfortable enough with your team, you always kind of lean back on what did you do? What did you do badly? Let's talk a little bit about
Right.
the midweek and non-conference kind of wrapped up here. Max, your thoughts on what kind of went on there? I mean, it wasn't stellar. It wasn't. I mean, it was challenging because for one thing, the road, so many road games, but yeah, did we
Hey,
leave anything on the table, Max, in that slate?
For the life of me, I don't know why we travel to South Alabama or Montgomery. I
Yeah,
it's
or
but
Montgomery for Alabama State,
for state. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
Mm,
mean, I
or
hate going to
Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg because we never win there, but
mm,
I get it for the RPI, but it's
right.
just I don't know. I that the UAB game back at the Joe was that
Hmm.
one I feel like we needed to get.
Hmm.
Just that one stung, and I think we kind of kept that hangover going into Tennessee.
Yeah,
And I don't know. I'm glad we got our midweek break when we did before the Vandy series.
yeah. It's a good point. Yeah,
That helped a lot, I think. But we got to be able to turn around quick after what
hmm,
happened Tuesday.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the road has been just brutal. As you Roger, just I mean, you've been on all of these. I mean, the road trip.
it's we were talking to the moms about the kids that leave the Alabama and get drafted and start the bus rides. I said this is they're practicing for the minor leagues right here. I mean, it's been bus ride after bus ride after
Yeah,
flight and bus ride. I mean, it's just.
yeah.
I
There you
mean,
go.
I documented the miles in my last roll by my roll story. It's like after this weekend, I would have traveled 7,100 miles
Uh-huh.
This baseball season. Yeah, just based on how many miles from Tuscaloosa to the city,
To the
wherever
city
we're
where
at,
you're going. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I mean,
back and back.
yeah.
So it's it's over 7,000 miles, and I mean the kids they're young, but I mean
It's had to wear on them a little bit, don't
it
you think?
wears it. Traveling is just exhausting.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's great, but it's exhausting too. 8-1
Yeah.
state, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So,
anyone watching on
sorry.
YouTube. I gave that.
I
That
was
was
about
one
to
of
play
those.
behind you. Yeah, I kind of feel like and again, we're everybody's like, yeah, why are you losing midweek games? You're going to lose midweek games. Everybody loses midweek games. We didn't last year, which is highly unusual,
Right.
right?
That was
And the
fantastic.
committee
Yeah.
proved that doesn't matter at the end of
Right,
the day.
right, exactly. And what matters is if you're going to lose a midweek game, lose it to a quad one team or quad two team or make it a quad, and you did win two against Jacksonville. That when you were playing those games, maybe you didn't feel like, oh, this is a big deal. But
Yeah.
if they're sitting top 30 RPI right now, I mean those two ended up being pretty important games too. And you didn't drop one team at 200 or whatever, like some
right. I mean, our losses were Troy is having an off season, but their
Yeah.
RPI I think is still pretty good. But
They're sitting at 58 at the moment.
I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't had terrible losses like Florida
Yeah.
and LSU and Georgia and Tennessee. All those teams have had teams that really shouldn't beat them, beat them. And we've been pretty good about. Obviously, we were great about it last year, 25-0 in out of conference. But
Out of conference.
um,
Yeah.
but my point on the travel that I keep harping on is like Georgia. They played Georgia Tech in Atlanta. That was their road.
Probably
game.
leave the state.
LSU went to Lafayette and played.
Mhm.
They lost. They lost it. That's the only two. That's the only road game
Only road
they had
midweek.
on for midweek, and we had 8 out of 13 on the road,
Yeah.
which to me is not fair to fans. I mean,
Mhm.
I guess I can understand it. It helped build the RPI.
Yeah.
But
I also think there's
just-
something to be said about timing with it too. Like
Mhm.
specifically with Troy is like we said before, they haven't had like under Meade, this isn't their best year.
Yeah.
But
Not their
they're
vintage
hungry
team.
right now. Like they need a big RPI
Right,
win
they need
late in the
wins.
year,
Yeah.
like Auburn
Yeah.
coming to Troy. And that moved them from outside of the top 60 into the top 60 and keeps their hopes as an at-large alive. And so really like part of what it was on Tuesday to me watching that game was there was a team that wanted it more and needed it more,
Yeah.
and a team that knew that they're, looking at an SEC wins number with a top 5 RPI. And winning this would have been nice, but it wasn't the end all be all.
And we had a bunch of guys sick besides all the guys
that didn't help. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but you come off a sweep and then like on Sunday,
Big
you go
emotional
on
high.
Tuesday, ride the bus down there after finals week and sweeping Vanderbilt, then come back and know you're getting on a bus 2 days later to come over to Columbia. It's just easy to let down. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
It's hard to get up for every one of them.
Yeah, Hayes, pretty resilient team though. I mean, even when these types of games happen, we seem to bounce back. When people were leaving us for dead after going under 500 in the common, we're 10-11, and we bounce back and just we kind of pull a rabbit out of our hat late in that Vanderbilt game and then carry the momentum through the weekend. It's a pretty resilient team, you think? I mean, not maybe our grittiest and guttiest team ever, but or that we've seen in recent memory, but definitely got a little grit to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's been the story of the team because there are a lot of times where even we as fans were like, all right, well, this is just what we are. And after that South Alabama loss, I think we were all, because we had just gotten swept by Kentucky, and then we go to Mobile, lose there, and it's like, all right, well, I guess this is what we are this season.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to games.
Then we got the no-hitter.
Yeah.
Like mentally after that South Alabama game, we're like, we're just going to go to games, we're going to enjoy it, and hey, whatever happens. But the team took the mindset of like, screw that, like this is not who we are. We're going to go prove that, and went and won 7 straight games against really good competition. And so
3 weekend heater, really. Yeah.
So it's been a continuous. Now, Coach Vaughn always talks about, you can get punched in the mouth. Are you going to be able to get up? I'd like to see us not get punched in the mouth so often.
or punch ourselves in the mouth. Is that what we do?
Yeah. But just circling back to that midweek conversation, another thing I feel like needs to be mentioned is when we look at last year's midweek, obviously 13-0 across all midweeks, but we have to ask ourselves, how many of those midweeks do we win if we don't run out Braylon Myers and Carson Hofstra? And I think Vaughn took that last year in Hattiesburg and thought, like, yeah, our guys just ran out of juice and we may have utilized them too much in season. So I think because it's not like we're running Banks out there very often in the we're not really running Heiberger out there. Like, I don't think we're really trying to use our best arms in the midweeks for the reason that last year Vaughn probably felt like they started to run out of gas toward come regional time.
Yeah, he told us that in the preseason the thing we did. We talked about it. We said, do you felt like you kind of ran out of gas? Because I mean, you could tell they narrowed that bullpen kind of like we're doing now. I mean, you really got down to just a few guys you could really kind of rely on the bullpen. The thing, and I tweeted this the other night. There were a lot of people mad online the other night after that Troy game. And I tend to wait an hour or two and then kind of have some thoughts. And mind you, we didn't drop in the RPI or anything. But I kind of made the point, Max, is that there's a balance in those games. They're developmental, but you need to win them. And sometimes there's a balance, one for the other. I don't know that we did it that well. It did either that well. It didn't feel like we developed a whole lot of guys in the midweeks. Like, we didn't roll the young guys out there as much as I thought we probably should have. But what are your thoughts on that and how we've handled the use of some of our younger guys?
I mean, we've given a lot of guys shots. And, some of them, like Hines, has taken those shots. He's run with them. He's forced his way into batting, top 5 in the order almost every night. And then you got some guys who just aren't quite there yet. Smyers, that last start against UAB
was rough. Yeah.
One to forget. And, Kroberger is defensively about as good as they come. And, I'd feel comfortable slotting him in center field defensively. Offensively,
it's not there yet.
So it's, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, we're slotting him in. We know what we can get him to work on when it comes to summer ball. And, so it's.
Yeah. Those guys, have got in Purdy, they've gotten a pretty good chance. But hardly any for Evan Taylor, Caleb Barnett, and Joe Girardo. Joe has pitched a few times and
pitched a little bit.
He's done well each time. He started.
Hasn't given up a run.
Yeah, and he's done. I kind of thought we might see him on Tuesday night, and and then we were down outfielders like because of Brady being out and Kroberger out.
Kroberger wasn't there the night either, right?
Run Taylor or Girardo out there, if need be, if somebody got hurt or something. I thought it was odd that with Brady not even in the city, in the ballpark, that
2 catchers were in the lineup.
We played Johnny and DH Platt. It's like,
and hitting 6.
So you have no flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your DH, so you can't move him to catcher. I mean, you move him to catcher. If something happens to Johnny, you lose the DH. You can't pitch hit for him. If you wanted a lefty or if you wanted a bunt or whatever, because something happens to. I mean, JoJo worked out there last year, but I hadn't seen him with a mitt in the gear on this year at all. So it's kind of like, what's your plan here? If something happens. So we were kind of strapped on what hamstrung on what we could do. Now, as it turns out, you get 4 hits and 1 run.
It didn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. But like if it had been 3-2 or 2-1, or we made a play here or there, or that guy really did get hit, and then on the first time, not the second time, with a pass ball when the guy scored and Johnny said he had gotten hit, and people behind the plate said the ball did hit the guy.
We thought,
I don't know what it looked like on TV.
Didn't have great camera angles to really tell it enough. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
that was it. I just thought that was a little bit of a
a little
funny
bit.
lineup construction
Yeah,
because you
it
did
felt to
have,
me
you could have had Caleb or Luke Vaughn or
exactly. Yeah.
a hitting. So
Hmm.
and it's midweek, and you give
Hmm.
give Platt a start,
Give 'em
but
a shot. Yeah. Sometimes it gets hot.
it,
I think we said it. We said it in one of these others. I mean, it's like when you got all these guys hitting 180, 200, or whatever. I mean, that's 1 for 5. That's 2 for 10. If they're kind of interchangeable, sometimes you just punch the right button and hope you get those two that night, those two of that 10
right,
that
right,
night. I mean, you just never know. And so it's hard to do it when you got so many guys that are they're really struggling. The one thing
right.
I
It's not
think
like
was a positive.
it's not you're not
Yeah,
choosing between a 330 and a 320 hitter.
exactly. Yeah,
You're choosing between a 201 and a 189 or whatever.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like it's basically a coin flip. Who's
It's
gonna do
flip.
what?
Yeah,
So,
right. Let's have good luck tonight, Megan. On one really good sign or high mark for us, and I think we can kind of roll this into the weekend. Is JT Blackwood? I thought was really good other night. He's had a couple of some really good starts. I mean, you think where do you think he fits in now that you're done with midweeks and you can throw him in a weekend? Where do you see that role?
And I think we talked about this like a couple weeks ago of like, okay, what happens when the
Hmm.
midweeks are over? And I said, we have JT to play with, and
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I wish we had the Hoover format of old in a sense of like I think we'd be set up real good for that. But you know, I don't know if JT would be someone you bring in when you got batters on, you got to get outs. But I think if you can
Hmm.
give them clean inning, we got to
Yeah,
something happens, maybe Sunday game, Miles can't get you the innings. Um, we can get someone in, get them a clean start, and get two,
yeah.
three there to be able to transfer over to Hagan or whoever on that back end.
Right. Definitely an asset, I think, that, to have a veteran arm like that as you start rolling into these
he
what could be
was
long weekends, right?
he was really good the other night, and
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
might have rolled on to a 1-0 victory
Yeah.
but he he got out with like 46 pitches, clean
Uh,
4 innings. And
mhm.
so, yeah, that's a guy that you can look at it as a long guy on the weekends,
Uh,
and probably join those three as, the three on the back end as the three relievers that we're using as be the fourth one.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's big that the midweeks are over, and he's available. Like you say, it's a veteran. He's been through it, both JUCO and with
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah.
So,
No doubt.
I think he's more trusted. He's going to throw strikes. He's not going to walk a bunch of guys. He's not going to throw wild pitches, hit
Mhm.
guys. So,
Keeps
he
it in
may
the
get hit.
park, keeps it in the park. Doesn't
Mostly
seem
keeps
to
it in the
get a lot of
park. So,
gophers. Mhm.
yeah, I think that's going to be a key, and taking him out on Tuesday, like that sets it up where if we
Mhm.
need 2 to 4 innings any of the 3 days, that'll be a big help.
Mhm. Yeah. Moving on to Vanderbilt,
Mm.
a week ago tonight, around this time. Well, but we started late tonight, so it's probably well, I'm probably have it about now actually. Uh, Although that game went pretty quickly. Um, you know, Eric Hines and Johnny Wynn with two swings of the bat, Tyler, probably saved our season.
Yeah, I mean, I think I very vividly remember texting you after the game
Mhm.
and saying like that limb swing to walk it off in game one, it felt eerily similar just because you're playing the same team and you feel like it is kind of a season in the balance kind of moment
Mhm.
to Andrew Pinckney's just absolute moonshot that he uncorked against Vanderbilt
Yeah,
in terms of like what that could mean for the
right.
rest of the year.
2023. Yeah,
Yeah.
2023 on
And so it's
Thursday.
one of those things that to have, and it goes back to it is whenever we don't play ourselves out of a game defensively by kicking it around,
Hmm.
uh that whenever like and it's been a thing all year, I feel that when we're in a game late, I think we're going to find a way to win it.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
that's nothing that shows up in batting average. That's nothing that shows up
Hmm.
in any measurable, and it sounds like a cliche, but like it's very much so. That's just kind of grit, and that's having a little bit of moxie and some heart about you to kind of have those games that are hanging in the balance late and just finding a way to get it done and to win
Hmm.
1 run ball games that we have. And then you saw us just carry that momentum throughout the weekend, and it feels very much so like weekends where we can set a tone on Thursday or Friday, we go on and have a lot of success. But whenever it gets a little bit topsy turvy on Friday and we, either don't get really great run support behind Faye,
Mm-hmm.
or it's one of those starts where he's on the road and gets knocked around a little bit, but hangs around
Yeah.
in the game, and we just don't pull it out, that those weekends can get a little lost on us. But whenever
Yeah.
you give us an inch on Friday, we're going to go take a yard on Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. Hayes, we did not get a lot offensively that night. In fact, I mean, had the top four in the order. We went Holt, LeBron, Neal, and Fowler. We're 0 for 3. We're 0 for 3. We're 1 for 4. We're 0 for 3. So we were what 1 for 13 from the top four. One of those nights where the bottom end of the order ended up carrying you between, and really Hines and Lim did all the damage. What just a night where you couldn't get it done and you got to get it out of a freshman. It's pretty remarkable that you do that in that clutch of a situation, as important as it was, because you lose that game, man, it's that could have been a rough weekend.
If you lose that game, it really feels like the nail, like the final nail.
Mm-hmm.
And so
10 and 12 in the conference at that point, right?
Yeah, and it feels like best you can do is get to 500, and then it just looks kind of dire from that point. But I mean, top of the order was struggling. I mean, Fennel was on one. I am Tim Corbin's #1 fan after pulling him after 5 in the first.
And he certainly didn't mention that to Vanderbilt's entire coaching staff and everyone else that would listen to him in gold and black throughout the weekend. He definitely didn't do that.
So, but he was pitching well, using a little gamesmanship with the quick pitches, things like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
You hate that guy.
Yeah, I can't stand it. But at some point, like, he's using it, and we got to be better prepared for that. But we just gotta we need to get better production out of them. But the fact that you didn't get that production, and then you still had Hines come up big, you still had Lim, obviously the last shot. Like, I mean, we still put ourselves obviously in a position to win, and in spite of the first four. And the thing is, if it's someone else, I'm a little worried, but it's hard for me to really be super worried about those four. Like, it's baseball. It's hard to hit a baseball sometimes. It happens. So it's a really just remarkable from Hines, Lim, just everyone else. I had just a good night getting on base, because I mean, Hines had a 3-run shot. If it's a solo shot, that game looks totally different.
It's still tight. Still tight.
Yeah.
Max, we that night, Fade, to me, that was a pretty sneaky good outing from him, despite the long balls. Again, he gave up 3 home runs. One was a 2-run shot. One was, they got all the runs on home runs, 2 solo shots and a 2-run shot. Beyond that,
all the bottom,
And they're big guns. He kind of kept at bay. Scattered 5 hits after that. Struck out 7. Only walked 1. He hit a guy. Kind of a typical Fade night where you just battle through and grind up innings, get your team into the 7th, and give them a chance to win.
It's with him, it's just he will have the worst starts to games and just find a way, you blink and it's been 6 innings. It's I mean, I'm a Braves fan myself, but it's the closest thing I've seen to Charlie Morton out of our pitching.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be pretty? Would I love for them all to be no hitters? Yeah, it'd be a lot more fun. A lot more attendance out there on Friday nights. But it's, you give us 6 innings any day. That's all you can ask. I mean, 4 earned runs was a little high last week, but it's kept us around long enough for the bats to, remember to stay on base until the pitcher's on the mound. But it's I fully thought the season was going to
somebody should be reminding them of that.
So
I sitting in right field, that was an interesting development. And I think a lot of the other people got a lot more thirsty. But yeah.
I will say,
Meghan,
of the 3 home runs, like of the 3 home runs, like that first one, that was cranked. I mean,
yeah, it was a rip.
the
Yeah,
other two felt just about
Whistle
as
blowing
cheap as
out.
a hidden. It felt like about as
Yeah,
cheap as a hidden ball trick. I mean, that's
uh-huh.
just
Tyler told me
that was
after the game that I can't remember if it was the second one or the third one. He said, he threw it and they hit it and he's like, okay, fly ball. And, Bryce
Yeah,
has
that
that.
was,
Then he turns around and looks up and goes, what the hell?
yeah,
And he just kept flying. It just
just taken
got
out.
pushed
Yep,
out.
That
yep.
It's kind of
that
like kind of like Kentucky.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
Megan.
unfortunate thing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yep.
just one more point on that with Faye is it's like this just the most unfortunate thing. Like when you look at him statistically, is he's got one thing that bites him as a pitcher, and it's his home run on his fly ball percentage is roughly at 20%. Like if you get it in the air and you hit a solid fly ball on him,
Mhm.
20% chance is getting out of the yard,
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
leads our staff by a significant portion. And so, like, it's one of those things like I knew kind of going into that game on Friday night, and it'll be the same thing against Georgia. I mean, not Georgia, Ole Miss,
Ole Miss.
to close the season. They're a homer or bust type team. And if Faye can limit those to solo shots, he's going to be all right.
Uh-huh.
And for the most part, he did that night.
But
And
yeah,
that's
I
why we were
mean,
able to get out of that.
he basically walks one or two guys a game. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
he gives
yeah,
up a lot of, and he's given up what, 15 home runs now?
yeah.
But I would say probably 12 of them are solo. I mean, just not looking at anything, but just
Hmm.
trying off of memory. There's rarely anybody on base.
Mhm.
But the first one against Vandy, obviously, but for the majority of them, they've been solo jobs, and
Hmm.
you can live with that.
Yeah,
You walk two guys like, we have some people come in that have a hard time throwing strikes, and then all of a sudden you give up a long ball, then you're buried.
yeah.
So
Then you're behind 7-3, like where the Arkansas, or something like that happens. Megan, talk about the value of Matthew Heiberger, and I mean this on this particular night, and again, later that weekend, I guess it would have been Saturday. Comes in, locks down 2 2/3, and gives up a hit, walks a guy. Nothing beyond that. 32 pitches, salvages. We get out of a 9 inning game on 128 pitches in an SEC weekend. Pretty remarkable. I mean, just talk about the value of that guy.
I mean, we've been talking about it since Matty Ice came on the scene as a freshman, and we were like, okay, we got something in this kid. But I really think just, him coming out game one, being able to shut it down, be able to do his job fully and completely, it set us up to be able to sweep the weekend.
Mhm.
Because in a season where we have seen, we don't have a lot of depth in that pen, truly. Like, yeah, we might have bodies, but we got a lot of guys that like it's a crapshoot on what we're gonna
It's hit or
get.
miss. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that like Maddie was able to come in, do his job as expected at this point, but do his
Mhm.
job and get us out, and the fact that, two guys on game one, we're sitting in good shape for a weekend at that point.
Yeah, yeah, really set your bullpen up nicely, and then you go to Friday, I guess Friday night. Um, Zane Adams. I mean, we almost made mom cry last night. I didn't go down that route too far, but talking about one more start at home. But
yeah,
so his penultimate start at the Joe, or at least in regular season. Obviously, we hope there's more. Um, Again, sneaky good Roger on Friday with 8 hits that I mean, literally, were just a lot of these are just
probably
ground ball, a lot of all ground balls. I think they were all singles.
it was either against the shift or
Mhm.
soft liners or bloopers. I
uh,
mean, you look at it and think, there's no way he gave up 8 hits, but
yeah,
yeah, Tyler, you're ahead of
Yeah.
me.
yes,
Um,
he's ahead of everyone.
Yeah,
uh,
life
yeah,
hack for anyone that's a YouTube TV just subscriber. There's a broadcast delay feature that you
yes.
can go to decrease delay, and so
Uh-huh.
I'm living in the future on everyone.
It's,
I mean, I've got table or whatever they have in this hotel, and it's like he just rounded the
he just
bases
went, yeah,
after
yeah,
you. But yeah, Paul. I mean, we were talking about that night at the game.
uh-huh.
Like first inning, infield single, third inning, infield single, blooper against the shift.
Hmm.
Another one up the middle again that beat the shift.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's four right there. I mean, it's like
It was all night. Yeah,
the hardest contact he gave up was a line drive to center field and a fly ball to left to close
Mhm.
out his outing.
I think it was like two hard hit balls all night. Yeah, it was really remarkable.
And I think like he's had two pretty good starts. I mean, he's been good all year.
Yeah.
But that
He's
was
missed for consistency for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We asked Mom about, her big, favorite memory. And obviously she goes back to that freshman season in the Arkansas game. This might have been one of his best pitch games. I mean, the Missouri game last year, I mean, that sort of, go 7 innings and shut him out or whatever. But I mean, this one was something else, I thought. And then Ashton Crowther, I mean, guys, I mean, you've seen him enough now, and you've seen him kind of emerge as that, that other dominant guy out of the pen. I mean, were you expecting that out of him coming in?
no.
I was there for enough like fall and spring, inter squads, and saw that when he was even pitching, because he wasn't pitching for a good
For the most
portion.
part, he wasn't. Not
Yeah,
Didn't throw much,
and the very few times that he was, it was low to mid 80s whenever the TrackMan was pulling up on the stadium board. So it was like one of those things. It was like I was thinking to myself, like, how in the hell did this guy put up a 3.5 SEC ERA at South Carolina? That makes no sense. And man, like, it's one of those things, like, even whenever it was low 80s, I mean, not low 80s, I think he was, mid to upper 80s at the beginning of the year whenever he was healthy enough to throw. And he knew where he was, and it was, kind of jump ball his way out of it. But as the velos started to tick up a little bit and he's starting to fringe on the 90s, he can locate the fastball pretty well, and his stuff plays up something crazy. Like now I see very clearly why it was a ERA in the 3s at South Carolina, and whenever you throw on the fact that he was supposed to be throwing mid 90s, now I wonder how in the hell it wasn't a 2 ERA at South Carolina.
I sure hope. I would love to have him back next year. Helped another year on that arm, and like Johnny told us the night he was on, he's like, they were watching some video of him throwing 95 to 97. It's like, dang, we're seeing 89-1 or whatever, and he's just getting guys out. It's been incredible.
Yeah, Hayes offensively that day, it was one of those typical Alabama games. Fortunately, we jumped on him. Home run, boom, Lemon Hines again. But beyond that, we scratched a couple across in the first and the third, and then a bunch of goose eggs the rest of the game. So it's kind of one of those games you're not helping your pitching staff. They help a lot, but they're doing more than enough.
Yeah, I mean it's really weird. Like, just about every sport, you hate when you get out to a lead and you feel like you're just nursing the lead the whole time. Like, especially in baseball, it's just because at least in football, basketball, you have a clock. Like, okay, they have 10 minutes to score this much. Baseball, there is no clock. You always have to give the guy another chance.
Yeah.
And so I don't love it, but with our pitching being as dominant as it was, it looks like a good. I mean, obviously it works out fine, but you'd like to see some more production in the second half, especially once we got into their bullpen. I mean,
yeah.
Like I said, we hit their starter well, but the bullpen we just couldn't really touch them very well.
Yeah, we let Cyber finish the game out. I mean, he came in the third and just like. After Stillman had given up everything, and we got nothing out of him. We got a walk and a double and a single, and I mean that was
he held us at bay. Yeah, Max, really positive thing we saw that day, and I guess the following day is you started seeing some offensive signs of life from Justin LeBron and Jason Torres. That carried over the next day. I mean, and we talked about it. I mean. You get those guys going, and it's a whole different team. We hadn't seen a whole lot out of Torres offensively, but the glove's been there for LeBron. The bat's been adequate, but not where we expected, and then the issues with the glove. But I mean, on this day, and then the following day, you really start to see some production from those guys.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, with LeBron, it's just. You see the swings he puts on balls and, how electric he is on the base paths. And it kind of felt like it was it was bound to turn around at some point.
Sure.
If it had to, if it had to be him changing his walk up back to "Ain't It Fun," a personal belief of the Ragers is that would fix it. But
Well,
it's at some point the balls drop, and it started for him, and Torres started elevating for the first time
Mhm.
in a few months, and
Yes.
it's just it showed the flashes of if those two can get it going, it gives us so much more
Mhm.
length to the lineup, and
Yeah.
seeing Torres come back with the power a little bit. I think it was Rob or one of the coaches mentioned that, he struck out so much last year, particularly late in the
Mhm.
year, that he made a conscious effort to, I guess, cut down on the swing, wanted
Cut
to
up.
cut down on his strikeouts, which, took some of his power away. But
Pickle
he
power.
had
Yeah.
11 home runs last year. He's up to 7, I think, after Troy.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, he mashed that ball. It was high and deep. I mean, he
Yeah.
really hit that. And the one he hit against Andy was just a line shot. It was out there in
Mhm.
no time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if he can keep that up and not take so many third strikes, don't trust them. We don't have ABS yet. Don't trust the umpires. Like if it's a
Soon,
tick off the
soon.
plate, if you don't like it, foul it off. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we're getting a lot. He's getting a lot of strikeout lookings more so than
Yeah.
swingings
Exactly.
in my
Yeah,
memory.
and probably getting out the other night. Even had a couple pretty bad calls at the Troy game. And then we get into I want to call it Sunday. I guess it was technically Saturday. It's always hard to. Another strong outing for Miles Upchurch. Several in a row now. He gets you into the six. Only gives up 4 hits. Gives up some earned runs and walked some guys, but just kind of gutted it out and did enough. 107 pitches, which I think is his high for the season. I
Pretty
don't think
sure
he
he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that had to be, but he gets you into the six on a day that we had kind of the same deal. On this day we had jumped out again early. We jumped up 5-0 lead in the first. Torres with a 3-run homer among others. Now they trimmed it and cut it, but we pulled away and just kind of held on toward the end. Holt gives us a little insurance at the end, and then draws the ire of the entire Vanderbilt, fan base. But talk about Upchurch, Megan, and just just the polish of that freshman and seemingly unflappable to be able to be still standing after 8 tough SEC weekends.
I think that's a good word for it, is unflappable. And like, he's a freshman that doesn't look like a freshman. Even we've seen, I mean, I guess glimpses of like
Mm-hmm.
freshmanness in the SEC, but really, truly, if we're, with one weekend left, kind of grading like where
Mm-hmm.
it's at, like this is not a typical, Sunday, okay, we're gonna roll it out, Johnny Holstaff it. We've had a starter who's been able to be an SEC starter, really from
Yes.
the get-go. And if anything, I mean, that just makes me that much more excited for what a summer of, summer ball, getting more experience, getting more reps, knowing that he's going to know what it's like to play in the
Mm-hmm.
SEC next year is going to be. But also it's another guy that can get us that much farther into the postseason. And it's not okay, are we going to be able to escape through game 3?
Yeah, yeah. And Roger, we talked about it with Mom last night. I mean, the polish that he has already. We know more
Yeah.
velocity's probably coming. I mean, we've seen pump 96 here and there, but not consistently. Right?
Yeah.
Low 90, 91, 2, 3. I mean, he's legitimately probably gonna be one of those guys that gets up mid high 90s. I think
Oh
over
yeah.
time.
Yeah. I mean, he's got 96 to 98 in that body,
Yeah.
and his mechanics are great. He's got the athletic genes. I mean,
Hmm.
dad played in the NFL. His mom was a great softball player,
Yeah.
pitcher in him. She told
Yeah.
us that, she basically taught him pitching. I mean, like
Yeah.
she talks pitch sequencing with him. She talks, why did you throw this pitch then? And
Uh-huh.
what
Yeah.
happened
She chops it
there?
up with him,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's a neat lady, but, yeah, just a polished young man, just from the get-go,
Hmm.
both, on and off the field. I mean, he's
Right.
a mature young man when you talk to him. He's, he's just grown up,
Mhm.
grown up.
Yeah.
So really,
Had
really
had to grow
great.
up fast here. Yeah. Got thrown in the
Right.
fire right
And
away.
really, really stoked to see the next 2 years. And,
Mhm.
talking to Shakira, his mom, it's like it's kind of like Justin, like they're not even thinking
Mhm.
about listening
Full
to
gump.
anybody or going
Yep.
anywhere else.
Full gump.
Oh,
Yep.
we lost Max.
Yeah. Yeah. He just yep.
So they're,
Um,
that's good to hear, and
yeah.
obviously things could change, but
Very happy here.
we're, yes, definitely happy.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Hayes, we talked about a little bit too. I mean, the defense this past weekend was a real asset, honestly. I mean, there was some pretty stellar defensive plays. We get totally clean game on Saturday. I guess we made a couple errors in Zane's game. I think one of them might have been one was like a fly ball that Eric kind of ran in on and just caught it on the heel, and then I don't even remember what the other one was. Maybe one on Justin, but and
Holt, no, Holt in the ninth
Holt
on
on the night. Yeah, that's
just
right. That's
on the
right.
ground ball,
Yeah,
like
yeah, and
we
then
were in
and
good
then
shape there.
clean. Yeah, so a two error weekend, and I don't think either of them really did a whole lot to us. But I mean, do you think the you know defense is a little quirky? I mean, it you can have a weekend like that, and then you go throw up a 5 error night, or is the defense as bad as it seems on those worst nights?
I mean, I think consistently no, because
Yeah,
we've seen things where it's like Justin has, and he'll tell you
mm-hmm.
defensively it's been bad this
Yeah,
season,
mm-hmm.
and we know he's a great defender. Like there's no
Yeah,
question about that. And I think a lot of defense, like some like I said earlier, hitting a baseball is hard.
mm-hmm.
Like you can do everything right,
Mm-hmm.
still just completely miss on it because the pitcher was really good. Defense is such a focus thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that we have a little bit of a bad habit of losing focus, especially in these midweek games, where on the weekend, it's really hard to lose focus when you got Vandy at home and it feels like you're fighting for a chance to host. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
work to lose focus there, but in a midweek, it's really easy to just be like, oh, okay, it's
just go
UAB.
through the motions.
Like
Mm-hmm.
we're more talented, things like that. But I'm not saying that's what they did, but that's my guess is just that sometimes those defensive lapses are more due to a lack of focus,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be play by play, game by game. But that's because it's not talent. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
we've we know that each one of those players can make the plays.
Right.
It's just that sometimes they don't, and
It can get contagious too, just like
It
hitting.
can, yeah, yeah.
It's just like
Spreads, yeah,
it just
because then you start playing tight. You don't want to make
right. It
you don't
just
want to make no
snowballs.
error, and that makes you commit more errors.
yeah, yeah. Heiberger again. I mean, Megan talked about it. Tyler, thoughts on the how I was worried, and I think I expressed this early in the year. How are we going to use him? I mean, because I thought he was too good an arm for you to just bring him one night, you never see him again on the weekend. I thought he could be the kind of guy you go to twice, and he's starting to be that, and I'm really glad to see that happening.
Yeah, this felt like one of the few spots where we've really gotten on a weekend to deploy him the way we want to, where
Mhm.
it's, go give us some high leverage innings on Friday, keep that pitch count sub 30, and
Mhm.
then, well, really is Thursday, and then we
Right.
can get back to you, Saturday or Sunday. And it felt like that was one of the few times where we've been able to stay on schedule with that this year and to get those two outings on one weekend where we want them
Mhm.
to be with him.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get on that schedule right now and see how effective it can be. So
Yeah.
now that it's kind of in your mind and in that rhythm of, okay, like we've seen how well we can utilize that. Let's go chase it down again
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
try and
Especially with
establish
a
that as the standard.
right, especially with a fairly we'll call it a thin bullpen. I mean, just guys who again I feel like we have a lot of confidence in some guys in these higher leverage situations, and it seems like Max we're always in high leverage situations.
Yeah, I mean, back to to offense if we put the other team, in precarious situations, make them use their
Mhm.
high leverage arms, it's less likely we'll have to use ours. It's
Yeah.
just I wish we could get to the point where I felt comfortable going to some of the younger summer
Hmm.
guys, like, Chirotto or even Evan Taylor, or is Pacey alive?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah,
I
He's
don't
had an
know.
injury.
yeah. He's
He's
that
had
one
an
injured.
injury,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and
Well,
they
yeah.
had thought he was. He told me the other night he felt like he was ready, but
Uh-huh.
I also heard that he was shut down. Going to be
Kind of
shut
shut
down.
down.
But
Yeah, yeah.
he had a little issue, and then he said rest has helped him. So he
Uh-huh.
hadn't had a procedure. So he said he's chomping to get
Something to
going, but
get back. Yeah, yeah.
I
Because
don't
he
know.
showed some flashes.
I
Yeah,
don't know if
they
he
use him.
will though.
Yeah, they used him a few times in some situations. I mean, mostly lower leverage and just to get him some innings that, yeah, it could be an arm. But yeah, I mean, when you look at you get further into that pin and Austin Morris, for instance, just shows flashes of just great downhill, hard throwing, keeps it down in the zone, but then kind of has a lapse and walks a couple of guys, or he hits a guy. And like the other night, you got walk, wild pitch, and eventually those bullpen walks are going to catch up with you. And so there is seemingly I won't call it a total lack of confidence in those guys, because ultimately you're going to have to use it. You're going to have enough games in a row on a weekend, and you're going to have a start when these guys gets pulled in the third. Um, but it does to me kind of highlight why how important Heiberger has been, and especially as the last few weeks have evolved, in ensuring that we can get through these games with enough adequate arms. He again kind of locks this one down, kind of holds them where they are. He gives up one run. Banks comes in. We've all talked about it kind of ad nauseum. Did not expect Hagan Banks, Alabama closer, on my bingo card. After being a starter all those years, and not overpowering guys. It's a fastball that just stays on plane, and guys just don't adjust to it because they don't get to see it three times in a game like they
I mean,
like they
and,
did.
and he literally did not throw a pitch in the fall.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And I don't think, and he wasn't hurt. I mean, I think they were just like saving
Yeah,
up for this, like coming
exactly.
off. I mean, he's been here so long, they kind of know what they have.
Hmm.
And, you know, 2 years removed, 2 years removed from the surgery now. So, and
Uh-huh.
his velo has peaked back up. I
It's
mean,
picked up well. Yeah,
he's been
he's
89, 90 for a couple of years. Ever his freshman year, he was like low,
he
like
was a little bit
93,
hard. Yeah,
94 before he
yeah.
got hurt. And then he's had outings where he's hit 93, 94. But
Uh-huh.
normally it's around 90. But like you say, it's just something about that high fastball he has that he
Hmm. It
he's
just
got a lot
stays
of
on plane. Yeah,
he's got a
yeah.
lot of stuff going on motion
Hmm.
wise, and
Yep.
just kind of a quirky thing, and
Yeah,
it's working. I mean, I
yeah.
don't think he hasn't, knock on wood, hadn't given up a run in a little while.
It's been a minute. Yeah, been
Uh,
a minute. To kind of macro level, I mean, again, we talked a lot about these games specifically. Great weekend, we got that out of the way. We're back. We're sitting fairly pretty. I mean, with everything in front of us. Macro. Let's talk about hitting. What is it with this team? Why is this a 240 hitting team in the SEC? Is it guys are overmatched? You're not getting. You just don't have the consistency. I mean, you know, a guy like LeBron's in 260. If he was in 300, I mean, a whole different animal. Maybe you're not thinking of that way. Got thoughts on the hitting approach, or just macro level Alabama hitting in general?
I mean, macro level, I'd go back to the thing I touched on very early on is you're missing three
Hmm.
bats that you expected to be
Would have had, yeah.
real heavy contributors. And I mean, there's not many teams in this league, let alone this country,
Hmm.
that you tell them, hey, maybe they're not your three best hitters in the lineup, but we're going to
Sure.
take three real pieces out of your lineup. Can you hit? I
Hmm.
mean, maybe in some leagues you still can, but in this league with the arms that you're facing, I mean, it's really hard to do that without those pieces. And then on top of that, it's LeBron hasn't had the year, and he'd tell you by his standards isn't what he wanted to have. Good news is there's still ball to play, and there's
Yeah,
still
absolutely.
time.
A lot ahead of us.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
still time for him to turn it on whenever the
Hmm.
stage is at its biggest and the lights are at their brightest. And maybe that's what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, like we've oftentimes, whenever we're not kicking the ball around and spotting a bunch of runs, we score enough to be within the range with a really good pitching staff as starters and the 3 to 4 guys that we trust in these really high leverage spots in the bullpen to be in the ball game. And when we're in the ball game, we tend to win the ball game. And so at a certain point, to be damned with whatever the Pythagorean win percentage tells you or whatever the under the hood metrics say, like if you're winning the ball games, you're winning the damn ball games.
Yeah, exactly.
You play to win the game.
That's right.
Jim Mara Jr. once said famously.
Hayes, he touched on a good bit. You think, sometimes a team will go, you'll play a Missouri or you'll play a team that pitch with you bang out a bunch of runs in a weekend. You think this is the kind of weekend you could bang out a bunch and then maybe it vaults you. You forget all that, put it behind you, and all of a sudden you're vaulted into Ole Miss and SEC play and regional play.
Man, I think it could be. I think it's funny. It feels like every year, obviously, we're in the best conference in college baseball. We face the top arms in college baseball year after year. And it feels like it's been a trend under Vaughn where it's like we'll go into a weekend series where it's like Liam Doyle's throwing game 1, TPA is throwing game 3.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you can take money to the bank that TBA is going to throw a better game than Liam Doyle. So, I don't know what it is.
You're exactly right.
I mean, but I think South Carolina's pitching staff is relatively
better.
The numbers look good. I haven't admittedly had a chance to watch a ton of them, but I think if you go in there with a confidence like you are going to win this game, you're going to win this series, and I feel like a lot of our guys are not trying to do a little too much, but for lack of a better term, they're trying to do a little too much. Like we don't need a home run on every swing. We don't.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, like just get the job done. If someone's on base, move them over. If no one's on base, just put on base. Like this is like I love the saying. It's like this is a game for children. Like yes, this is real.
Exactly.
This is a child's game. Don't let it be more than that, and you'll succeed more often than not if you just boil it down to what it is. I mean, I love what Bryce said. He was like, he was on the Crimson Drive. He was like, "Yeah, I just see the ball go over the white part of the plate and I hit it." Like that's what it's got to be. Like you can't overcomplicate it because you can't think too much when you're in the ball.
No, exactly. Yeah. 4.53 team ERA overall for Carolina, 1.44 WHIP. Not bad. I'm trying to get to their SEC numbers, but it just refreshed on me. So probably have a hard time.
Can I go back to some of the stuff you talked about with that?
Sure.
And kind of circle back in general with the hitting. So I went and pulled earlier this week because it came up in our group chat. This is the worst batting average of teams in the last decade. So going back to 2016. And I think going back to one of the points kind of made at the very beginning of this of like, what do we need to happen? Well, that was a team that went 15-15.
Yeah.
We thought, had a chance to get in, grew in, and we make, have the host. It fell short. And I think that's to that point of like, why really that 17 number is going to be kind of that special point because we've seen that it may not be enough. And if we're going back that it's been 10 years since from a hitting standpoint, we've been this bad, that we're running a dangerous gauntlet with honestly a South Carolina team that they can pitch. I mean, with the exception of a couple of guys looking down, a majority of their roster has 2-something ERAs.
Yeah, so, 5 or under for pretty much all of them. Yeah.
So it's like we got that, and we have an Ole Miss team next week that it's going to be not easy to get wins over.
Yeah, looks statistically too. Their team that like maybe kind of a narrow bullpen. I mean, obviously they got they got a guy with 13 appearances, 9, 10, 9, and then the 3. Looks like the guys have been the 3 starters. So probably a pretty thin bullpen if you could get to them day one, and maybe wreck a couple of guys. Now the thing I'm seeing from them, they're a 205 hitting team in SEC play. Now again we're 240 and we think the world's over. They're hitting 205. They're slugging 349. They're on base at 279. So it's definitely an offense.
Nice.
It's an offense you could control, seemingly on paper. Anything can happen in a given game, but it's just how do you match up on a given day? But it we don't normally take a whole lot of we don't get a whole lot of insight into the team we're going up against usually because we're just kind of flying through this and thinking about ourselves as much. But I think now we look ahead. It's a big opportunity for us this weekend, Roger.
Yeah, it sure is. It's great to hear those offensive numbers, particularly with our three, with our three starters, and then they give us 6 or 7 scoreless or one run outings. Then we can just use our use our guys that we need. I mean, it'd be great to go out and get 10 runs and then use whoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to get through it. But that I like to hear that. But those pitching numbers kind of do bother me a little bit that they're that good.
Yeah. SEC 5.33 ERA in SEC play. They struck out 189. They walked 113. So it's not bad. I'd call that probably a little better than, or maybe a little bit below the average. I would think maybe in the conference,
what are they like? 6? Are they 6 and something or 8 and something? What is
I think
it?
7 and 17 in the conference.
Okay.
Yeah, 7-17, and they played some team stuff. They got a win over Texas.
Right.
Did they end up getting a win over Georgia? Did they? I can't remember if they
No,
I think
they got swept by Georgia.
But
then beat the brakes off Kentucky. I mean, relatively tight games, but I mean,
Georgia lost one of their big hitters, JUCO kid from last year.
JUCO kid, yeah,
was hitting like Brock was pretty torn up about that.
Yeah, getting close to kind of wrap up, but let's think of a couple more things to cover. What do you think happens this weekend, Hayes? Give me a number. Can we go on the road at South Carolina with them with nothing to play for and sweep them?
No, Hayes, stick by your guns. It's been working. Stick by your guns.
Alabama is getting swept this weekend.
Is that his stick every week?
That's his stick.
It has started to work. We have our own little pick'em going with our right field group.
Sure, I need to do that.
To switch up the vibes, Hayes was willing to pick against us to see how it would work. And it has worked. Until it stops working, Hayes is picking against us.
I know what does work though. We need to get Tyler Faye's sister. Tyler's sister has been to 9 games. Florida, Auburn, and Vanderbilt. She's been 9 games this year. We're 9-0. So
you want to fly to Columbia? I'll pick her up tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
We need Derek Adams to swing the plane by and pick her up. And get her
all right. So Hayes has the cock sweep us. Tyler, what you got?
Tide sweep.
Tide sweep, all right.
Yeah, Hayes is an naysayer. We're gonna link upon Hayes.
You link him, okay? Max, you got us. You got sweeping, or
I'm gonna double it up with Tyler. Hayes is a naysayer. He broke the wall in right field. And
that was not me.
He's always hated the Tide. I think the Tide sweep.
He was a prime contributor to Tyler Faye's historic no-hitter that night.
Exactly. Yeah. I like the sound of that, Max. I was the contributor.
If need be, I'll be back for Ole Miss, and Hayes will break the wall again.
Hayes will break the all right. Yeah, Meghan. I don't know. I can't remember who you picked in our thing yet. I don't know if we've even put it out yet. But who'd you have?
I mean, I had a sweeping, but I do think it's a trap weekend. I also think if we lose, though, that means I can't come to Tuscaloosa. So
that's right. I picked this obviously, but I didn't have a sweep. I don't think. I can't remember. Roger, what's your thought? Can we give this a sweep?
I picked us to sweep.
All right. So, okay. looking ahead to Ole Miss. I mean, yeah, everybody kind of feels that way probably. Ole Miss, is that a trap? I mean, obviously we've been really good at home aside from one weekend. Big
Yeah.
trap. Good pitching. Home run hitting club. Going to be sitting around the same as if we can do our business this weekend, we might be a game or two ahead of them. But maybe might be one of those weekends we're playing to seal up a regional host slot potentially.
Yeah.
What do you think happens then?
I think that one's impossible to call a trap because I mean they've got A&M at home this weekend. Unless they completely, get swept, even if they win one game, there's still a puncher's chance at them for them to host coming into our building. And then they just announced like the finality of that series getting put on national TV.
Yeah.
So that's going to be two teams that I would imagine more likely than not are playing for a shot where one or both have hosting on the line. I mean, I think it's impossible not to get up for that series. I think that's one where it's going to be two teams that are giving it all they got.
I also think they're probably the most comparable to us right now, like just in the way they've been playing. Like this, I'm really
other than the home run. Other than the home runs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a little more of a home run hitting team, but totally.
But just like in the way like the season is kind of gone, like and I don't know their record off the top of my head, but like
12-12.
Where our expectations are, like things like that. Like it feels like the most comparable. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe I mean obviously Florida and Arkansas we share a record with them, but it feels like their season's going a little differently than ours. Like, but really really glad that one's at home. I mean,
I am too. Yeah, like glad we're finishing the season at home. Yeah,
need to be able to get a lot of butts in the seats and.
Hopefully. The 2016 will be there too, being honored.
The team, okay.
So
the
a lot
original,
of those guys are coming.
The original.
A lot of those guys are coming back.
Yeah, the first team played in the new Joe, I guess, right? Well, no, wait, what? 16? Yeah, 16. You're the 16.
No,
yeah,
2016.
2016. Yeah.
So far, Avila's coming. Tommy Hunter's coming.
Good.
Bentley. I mean, like a lot of the big names. Matt Downs, Pamel, Emil Salem.
Good.
Patrick Kelly, Owen Tyler Odell, Austin Graham, Wes Henderson. We've had a lot of good response to that, so it's gonna be fun. I don't never get anything definite out of D-Rob or LeBlanc, but
I would also say
at least three of our former big leaguers will be there for sure.
Yeah. Say that again, Hayes. In here,
I will say. I mean, I know y'all are probably gonna have them hooked up. If they want to come to right field and have some drinks, y'all the right fielder.
They
right
actually
asked.
Some of them asked me that. Actually, I told them they
could right field. That's awesome.
that got confirmed for all listeners.
Right field
is wide open. For Ole Miss.
So if you want,
there is a one beer tax for us, the three of us on the podcast. If you are coming out there, you do have to bring each of us a beer. Okay. That's not like in the rules officially, but it is an unofficial rule.
So, but if you want to bring a beer in, you just come in through gate 8, and you can bring in six beers up to a pint.
I had a couple of the like 2012, 2013. Zelstra and John Keller asked me today if they could sit out there because
that's great. We had 8 goes out there last weekend.
And I told them they could bring their cooler and their beer. So but they do have to come in y'all's gate, I guess. I don't guess
you come in. Yeah, just come in and then check. Yeah, Max, your thoughts on Ole Miss? I mean, you're looking ahead. Does it scare you?
They're good. They're confusing. It's like
good way to put it.
They've dominated a lot of lower competition and struggled with the good. I mean, I think I was we're comparing them to Kansas the other day. It's where it's like what was it, the quad 1 stuff was kind of the iffy bits, but I mean they're a good club. I wish we could do what they do in right field on home runs. I wish we could bring in the full 24 pack of beer for the shower, but it's just they've played a good schedule, and it's just I don't know. There's a part of me that hopes A&M wears them down. Just
I would love for A&M to sweep.
Make it a real grind.
Max, to your point, they're 11-14 in quad 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they've
But a
played,
lot of quad one games. Yeah, that's a lot of quad one games,
yeah,
right?
a lot of quad one, and it's just, they'll, I mean, granted, a lot of those are, well, yeah, they get a
They've had
home
absurd
serve
against
Missouri
Missouri,
State.
Yeah. Their
Yeah,
conference schedule. I don't know
Yeah.
who did what to Greg Sankey to give them that conference schedule, but good Lord. But
yeah.
they're one of those specifically like just sheer analysis of the team and like the way they profile is they have got huge strikeout stuff on the mound, but they've also got huge strikeout stuff in the lineup.
It's like, yeah.
And it's one of those things that for me, I think this series a lot
Mhm.
can hinge on what Faye does on that Thursday night, where
Yeah.
he has the propensity to give up the long
Give it
ball
enough.
if he can make sure that those are solo shots, and Ole Miss Fort
Mhm.
has to beat us with solo shots. I think we've got a really good shot, like to really get off to a hot start in the weekend.
Mhm.
It's going to be about maintaining that they're going to put a few out of the yard. They might put one in the Coleman Coliseum parking lot. Like it might happen. But
Or
if
they,
they do it with nobody on base, we will be all right.
yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, they might hit one of the Hugh Culverhouse Junior School of Law down the road as well. But yeah, I think they were the only team, and when we kind of looked through it, that missed Missouri, and didn't they miss Missouri and South Carolina entirely? There was like one team, I think it was them, that missed both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yes, I mean that kind of it goes back to the just emphasis. Um, kind of gets you there. And again, I mean, if you feel like if we get 16, 17 wins and could host, what's the upper limit on like national seed for this team? Can we get in that top eight?
Yeah, 100%.
You think? Okay.
With your RPI in the spot that it's in, like let's say you go sweep South Carolina and then you go win 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss. I mean, that's
Mm,
an 18
that's
win SEC season and with a
yeah,
top 8 RPI. Like I dare you to tell me that we're not a national seed with 18 SEC wins and a top 8 RPI.
yeah.
Like I
Mm.
will go to Indianapolis with a few of my closest friends and storm the offices.
uh,
Like don't no way. There's no way you
yeah,
can tell me that we're not at that point.
yeah. Megan, you feel the same way? Feel pretty good about that? Can you get to top eight when you look right now like at D1 and some of these rankings and who they list, and sometimes they're listed top 16, and maybe we're not they don't necessarily have us there, but we have a path to get there. But can you jump enough of those guys in those rankings?
To some extent, I think it'll come down to how many other SEC teams are ahead of us. Because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know at the end of the day, the committee doesn't like when it seems like it's favoring one side or the
Stacking it.
other.
Yeah. Feels like that
Um,
happened to us last year, right? Yeah.
yeah. And so it's like if it comes down to like, okay, there's 3, maybe even 4 top 8 seeds from the SEC,
Mhm.
and we're the one that's bubbling on an 8 or a 9, they're not going to give it to us.
Right. Right. Okay. Roger, your thought? You think we can get there? Get to top eight?
Um, yeah, 5, yeah, 5
You
more
win
wins.
five?
I mean,
You think win 5 more?
well, I mean, that would leave no doubt, I would think.
Yeah. 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 At
I
that
mean,
point, you're probably a top 3 or 4 team in the SEC. At
right.
that point, you might
I
be good.
mean, metric wise, we're not that much different from Auburn,
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
and
When
they're
you have a head to head.
projected like,
In the head-to-head. Yeah.
and we swept them, and they're projected like 4, 5, and 6. I mean,
Yeah.
State
Mm-hmm.
sweeps them. Georgia beats them 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I mean,
You start seeing teams fall.
how do they? They have the two of us. I think are 1, 2 in strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Our RPIs are about the same. Our records are almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think we have more overall wins in the conference win. We win
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. We will have
We're
the
even.
same
Yeah.
amount of conference wins they have
Yeah.
right
They've just
now.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that's
Yeah.
working out. If they're all of a sudden they're a 4, 5, or 6, they have played very well since we beat them,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
and
5 straight series they've won.
won
That's right.
several series in a row.
Yeah. I think
But
5.
I don't think they're 3 and we're 13.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Like
little bit
like
backloaded on. I mean, backloaded schedule. A good number of teams have that, and if it kind of feels like ours is little more, with this weekend potentially,
right.
or at least feels a little better. Key to the weekend. Everybody, give me a quick key, and we'll shut it down. Hayes, key to this weekend.
chase the starters. I mean, we've been good about our scouting report on starters, and just keep that going. I mean,
Yeah.
just attack them early and hard.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, key to the weekend.
The number 5. I think if you can put 5 runs on the board a game
That was
against
mine,
the South
exactly.
Carolina lineup, that you're going to be in a good spot. I think it's just find a way to scratch 5 in every game.
All right, got it. Max, got a key?
I just less than 35 strikeouts.
Yeah. Okay.
If we can put the ball in play against South Carolina enough, it's I mean that's been every series we've lost, or we've had, I think, minimum 35 strikeouts, and it's been frustrating beyond compare to see
Good
those.
things happen when you put it in play. Yep.
And it's just, put the ball in play. I mean, at the end of the day, this is, it's not professional. These guys are still in college for a reason, and they make mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes, but it's
make them pay. Yep. Meghan, key to the weekend?
Pitching staff keeps doing its job. The starters give us at least 5. I think we're sitting pretty.
Yep. Okay. Roger, you got a key?
Tyler took one of mine, 5 runs. I mean, because we were talking about that, this past weekend series was like until late, we were 5 runs. I mean, that's kind of our ceiling, but keep them, I believe we can keep them below 5. So 5 runs and 6+ innings out of the 3 starters.
Okay.
At least,
my key. Yeah, go ahead.
At least 6.
At least 6. Okay. My key, I think I kind of go back to a little bit what we talked about a little bit happened last weekend. Justin LeBron, Jason Torres. If those guys keep barreling up balls and taking advantage of runner and scoring position situations, advancing runners and doing things, cutting down the strikeouts a little bit. If those guys can continue and play this weekend like they did last weekend, and we get the offensive production out of them, I think that takes us a long way, because again, I kind of go back to that. That's just not a good hitting team. I feel pretty good about our pitching staff against that team. To where we can almost do the bare minimum offensively to do some damage good this weekend. All right, and I don't remember it. I think about it real hard. I don't remember if I had a sweep in it or if I kind of felt like 2 or 3. It's hard to call us a sweep on the road. It's been a minute, but I'd probably lean that way. Folks, I really appreciate it. Thanks for staying up late. When we go late, it's 10 o'clock here on the Central time zone. Roger's sitting in the Eastern at 11, and so is Meghan. Long night. Been a long night. Roger, thanks for doubling up with us this week with the ladies and now the guys. The guys from right field, really appreciate y'all joining us again. We'll do it again soon. We got a few more weeks to go. Hopefully we can drag this thing well out into June this year.
I'd love a million more Weekly Joes this season. That would be just fantastic.
Right. All right, guys. Thank you, Meghan. Thank you. Hey, take it away, Peter Slide and Campland, singing our theme, The Joe. We will be back with you next week. Let's go beat South Carolina and take it home next weekend and host that regional. Guys, good night, and we will see you down the road.
Beat the Cox.
Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew in a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Well, it's Bama